everyone, and welcome to another video. This time we are going to paint a few quick effects for tabletop play. We are going to dry brush this teleporter real quickly, and we're going to add some hazard stripes on it, and we're also going to paint the light with some OSL. Hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. So here we are going to dry brush the whole teleporter with Leadbelcher. Before we continue the video, these teleporters can be painted in the same color scheme as your Legion. So for example, I am painting this Blood Angel commission. I could paint it red, but the client asked me to paint it metallic. If you want to check out how I do these Blood Angels, for example, for the tabletop, I recently uploaded a video where I show you how I paint a nice and easy Blood Angel. Feel free to check out the video. These are brand new series that I will upload on YouTube. Now for all these tutorials I am only using a brush, and for this tutorial in particular I didn't use any Fluors or inks, just to show you it can all be done without. I am just using normal acrylics, so everyone has access to these tutorials. Now let's get into it. All the paints that I've used in this video are in the description, so feel free to take a look. I've got 3 series of guides incoming on the channel. One series will be about applying quick and easy effects onto your model to make them stand out on the battlefield. The second series is about tabletop guides, and the Blood Angel Terminator was the first one of many more to come. The next tabletop guide I'll be uploading is a Thousand Sun Terminator. After that we got some Dark Angel Terminators, and we got also some Sisters and some Dead Guards, so we got plenty incoming. And last but not least, the third series of guides will be about basing your miniatures. Anyway, this is what's coming in the near future, so stay tuned if you are interested in seeing those. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can comment down below which chapter you would like to see in the future, and I'll make sure they are coming to the channel. I also offer higher tabletop quality and display or showcase quality, but those guides can be found on my website or on Patreon. Feel free to check them out. Anyway, let's get back to the video a little bit, and after the dry brushing part, we are going to paint the metal parts black again before we create the hazard stripes. A few good tips I can give you is use a magnifying glass for these smaller details or effects, so you get a much better view on things. For this part, a good consistency of paints is key, and get yourself into a good position so you have the most control over your brush. Don't rotate your brush, rotate the miniature, and stay stationary with your brush to optimize brush control. I've also added the wet palette on screen, so you can check out the paint consistency before we apply it onto the model. Another good tip I'll give you is always test your paint on your hand or glove before applying it. This will reduce the chance of mistakes. We can always correct mistakes, of course, later on, but we rather don't. Another good tip is make sure you got yourself a good brush with a nice tip for this part. Anyway, for these yellow stripes I'm going to use Balor Brown as the first layer. Balor Brown covers pretty well. I could have started with a brownish layer first or an orange layer, but since we are going to add some light and OSL onto this teleporter, I decided not to do so. So there is a clear difference in colors between the light and the stripes. So that's why I basically started with Balor Brown instead of an orange, for example. Anyway, take your time for this. Don't worry if you make some mistakes creating these lines. We can always correct them. It's up to you how much time you want to spend on correcting things, but it shouldn't take too long. Once you have applied these yellow stripes with Balor Brown, you can add another layer such as a more bright yellow. we are gonna go over these parts really quickly. I'm gonna add some gold on this, and after it I'm gonna apply a wash of Druchii Violet from Citadel, and we're gonna apply it all over the gold. The gold I've used here is Retributor Armour. Let the wash dry for a couple minutes and we can move on to applying the black wash. We're going to apply the black wash all over the teleporter and leave it to dry for like 30 or 40 minutes. A good time to have some lunch. When this is all dried up, we're going to use a makeup sponge, or you can use a Q-tip if you want to, doesn't matter. And we're also going to grab some white spirit to remove some of the black wash. Now carefully dip it on the parts you want to be bright. Leave the shaded areas shaded, of course. And try to be careful that you're not removing the black wash in the recessed areas, for example. Nice and easy, remove the oil wash, and after that we're going to use some of the Runefang steel to brighten up some of the edges of the teleporter a bit more. Take your time for this so we can start painting the light and OSL onto it. Just for your information, I didn't paint the base or anything. Like I said, these videos are about the effects we apply onto the models, and it wasn't about a complete guide on painting the teleporter. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll add a complete guide for these teleporters in the future on the channel if you would like it, but yeah, not this time. Anyways, I think we have arrived at the last part of the teleporter, which is painting the light. Now I'm going to show you one side of the teleporter, how it's done, and I think you will have an idea on how it will look on the other side. Anyway, we are starting off by painting everything orange. I am using deep orange for this. You can use any orange you like, Troll Slayer orange from Citadel, for example. I'm just using deep orange from AK Interactive. I thin it down a little bit and I paint everything orange on the light and also on the edges. Make sure to paint the two metal bits that are close to the light. These two sides take a lot of light because they are very close to the source. So you can start applying the orange everywhere. Now for the metal parts next to the hazard stripes, we need to be a bit more careful, and we're gonna thin it down a little bit more. So this is gonna act as our glow, you know. Now when you are painting these oranges and yellows on the lamp, don't worry about these metal things that are attached onto the light. We will paint a metallic in the end, but for now focus on creating brightness on the light, you know. So take your time when you apply the orange and make sure everything is covered with it, such as the edges below the light. Edges always catch up a lot of light, so make sure to paint them where they make sense. The next paint I'm gonna use is Yriel yellow. We're also gonna add some water to it, of course, to thin it down. And we're carefully adding onto the orange, making it more bright. Now you will notice I will go back and forth with the yellow and orange a few times to not only correct things, but to apply thin layers of paint. Thin layers of paint will get you a smooth result in the end. So for example, we are now applying the yellow all over the orange. Mix some of the yellow with the orange, thin it down, test before apply, and work on applying thin layers of paint. Keep your paints thin, and you can keep correcting things however you feel like. Nothing is lost, just take your time to create a nice looking light. And in the end, you should be able to notice the orange and of course a nice transition to the yellow. I'm going to add one more yellow to the light, which is lemon yellow from AK Interactive. A very bright yellow and almost a fluor color. We're gonna thin it down and we're gonna add this to the light carefully. Stipple it onto the light and use your previous yellows to work on the transition a bit more, and that's about it. Well, for the light part. The next part we're gonna do is on the metal parts on top of the light. We first gonna paint them black, and after that I'm gonna use Leadbelcher to make it metallic. And that's it for these simple yet very effective effects for tabletop play. I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below or on any of my socials. Thank you all for watching, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. But there will be a difference, of course.